There we go. Let's see, is this working now? Yes. All right, cool. Let's see. Yo, what's good?
Yo,
What's
what's up?
good?
How you been, man?
Good on yourself? How's the weather over there?
Weather is beautiful.
Oh, that looks nice.
It's super nice. And it's that fall LA weather too. So it's like not too hot, but it's like not too chilly. It's got a nice little breeze. It's cool.
Nice little balance.
Nice little balance. Perfect weather. Perfect.
Okay, okay. You eat yet? What's happening? You're outside.
Just woke up, rolled out of bed. My best friend is still sleeping. I'm crashing at his place for the time being till I get an apartment. So I didn't want to wake him up, so I came outside.
I see. We're in the same boat then, because I came to a living room
Oh
at my
hell yeah,
house as well. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
yeah. People need their sleep, man. It's a Saturday morning. Motherfuckers been working all week. I've been working all week. I woke up at like 3 a.m. So I was like, oh man, let me ask him if we can push it till 10. I was like, no, no, don't do it. Don't do it, Izzy. Don't fucking do it. I went right back to sleep.
Well, shoot, man. First off, I appreciate your time being here. I know that, especially being an actor, there's always something crazy going on. There's always, you always got to do the extra step. You got to go the extra mile, whether it's you even waking up or going to this place or that place, going to this person or that person. So I can only imagine LA how it is. I
Mhm.
guess that's what I want to start off with first. So in LA, right, your experience being there so far, because you're going to Strasbourg. For everybody that doesn't know, Strasbourg is a very prestigious school for actors. If you want to get into the theater game, Strasbourg is definitely one of those schools. If you could tell us a little bit about your experience there, how it is.
Um, so I took a break this term, for anyone who doesn't know how, acting or drama schools, um, are priced or how they're structured. It's kind of different from a college. A lot of people they think they go to like a film school, and film schools, they for the most part follow that same structure as most regular schools. That have like a FAFSA and all that. But with drama and acting schools, it's a little different. It's still an institution of learning, but you know, a lot of times there's no financial aid. You got to go off of their scholarships, or you just got to, have the money. And a lot of these drama schools, especially the prestigious ones, like you were saying, it's a great background for theater. It's one of the method. It's one of the pillars of method.
Mhm.
And if you're going to go to like a method acting school or any drama or acting school, it ain't cheap. It's like you would think there's like a bunch of hungry, uh, just came from nothing acting students there that are there, but it's not. That's not it at all. That's not true in the slightest. It's a bunch of military veterans that are using their GI Bill to cover this astronomical cost, or it's some rich kids. So it's expensive. But like as far as the actual experience for when you go there, um, I went there in summer, so I've been here since July. Um, it's a crazy good experience, man. Like you're there with like a bunch of artists and a bunch of creatives, and whether you want to or not, um, you learn how to move in the industry. You learn like what you want to gravitate towards and what you don't want to gravitate towards. You got basically a quick rundown of what the industry is going to be like going to a school like that. You got your creeps, that are, unsavory. You got the people that you want to stay away from that you might not want to work with, depending on whatever. You got the cliques that are politicking and having these socio-political wars between themselves, however silent they might be. And then you got the people who are there for show. The people that are there for the business side of it, the people that are there just to, move and groove in the intangibles, the terms of agreement kind of people, the people that move for like the business more than the art. And then you have a small section of people who are artists, who are actors, who just want to do the work. There are some things in those spaces that need to be changed. There's some representation issues, but that's with anything in the industry, as you probably very well know. But going there is so, despite all the bad, right? It's so enriching to be there. The teachers there really give a fuck about what they're teaching. They care about the work. They care about what they're doing. They care about teaching you the right way, and they care about you actually getting something from the class. They care about, like, they're not just, oh, I'm on salary, so I'm gonna teach you acting, and however you feel is, or however you take it is whatever you do with it. They're there to like really give their time and energy to you, and they're not going to beg you to give a fuck. But if you give a fuck and they see it, they're going to um they're going to give their energy back to you. A lot of them don't go above and beyond. They don't go the extra mile, but they give a fuck. And that's the most important thing. I would say it's been a great experience for me learning, um, and just being around other actors. It's great. It's great for you.
That's amazing, man. I'm glad that you learned so much so far that, you're in theater, you're doing the arts. This is basically what an actor should be doing in regards
Mm-hmm.
of, projecting themselves onto the stage and even on screen and even around their peers. A lot of times I feel like when it comes to being an actor, you got to take every aspect into account so that you represent yourself in the utmost respect, because it's like you said, there's might be some people that you don't want to work with, some people that you want to work with, but you're not that level yet. There's so many obstacles, right? But there's an actor that I follow on Instagram, and he goes by a Flamingo. He's a he's a Latino black man, and I like what he says, basically along the lines of, you can't see this as a struggle. Yes, there are obstacles. Yes, sometimes it can be hard, but you are what you think about, in the sense that, if you think about this being a struggle, that what, this is too hard, that this isn't your life, that's the thing. If this is not your life, then you really can't go through with this, especially when it comes to acting. Acting, you're not just an actor. You're a writer, you're a reader, you're somebody else, even a director, producer, DP, whatever it may be. There's so much to it, and I feel like us in the creative space, we truly understand that and we take it in for what it is. And, obviously everybody has their own intent. Everybody wants to work in a different way, whatever it may be. But knowing you for the past, I would say 3 years back in 2021, when
Yeah.
you're back fighting in Washington, that was one of the things that I experienced. It's a challenge, man. It really is. So, everybody that's seeing this right now, understand this man, what he's going through. Hey, man, you got to be a special type of person to really put yourself through this, because it's not just theater. It's not just the people you surround yourself with. It's an everyday commitment, right? It's an everyday commitment, and you're facing all these dimensions. You're facing all these challenges, and it's a constant challenge. It really is. And that goes for any respective career path that you take. But for this one, especially for acting, right? You go into theater, you're learning all types of shit, learning all types of things. And that's one of the things that I will really vouch for, is theater. If you really want to understand acting, you really want to get your chops up, theater is the best way. So the way this man's going, as far as, being in Strasbourg and all, there's nothing but respect here, because I understand how it is to just go through that every single day. And it's fun. It really is fun. You know, it doesn't matter who
Mm-hmm.
you're around. If you're committed, you love that stuff. This is it. This is peak acting. you know?
Yeah,
So that's just my take on that. And that's just me taking in what you just told me. Because at the end of the day, like I said, it is not for everybody. It is definitely not for everybody.
it's
And I've
not
seen
for
that. I've seen that, you know. And I want to ask you this: how are the workshops? How are meeting these different people's like directors, producers, even? What's that like for you?
I don't go to a lot of workshops. I detest workshops.
Okay.
Like I feel like on one hand there are some workshops that have something to give and they're there for the right reasons. But like with anything, you get it, you see people see an idea and a lot of people, like I said, with the business of acting, they turn it into some entrepreneurship. Um, so there are a good number of workshops out there that are bullshit, that are just trying to get some money from you, and they're just going to tell you the same thing you can get in a book. Like there's workshops I've seen that are just going to go over, like there's workshops I've seen that are going to say, okay, we're going to go over this is a Meisner workshop, right? And the only thing they're doing in that Meisner workshop is giving you a summary of Meisner's book on Meisner on acting, and you can go find that book and just buy the book, and you just saved yourself $375. Like, and the book's like 15.99. In some places it's less. Like, but there are some workshops though. Like um, there's one that I've been invited to, but that I was brought into by the grace of a an actor that's doing some great work right now. He he put me into one of his workshops, right? And it's like not just like a one workshop and then okay, like see you at the next one. It's like it's a community, it's a family, where like you share news, you share things you're doing, like everybody sticks together and supports one another. Like that's like a good, there's been a workshop I've been going to where it's a method lab, right? So for anyone who doesn't know, Lee Strasberg, not going to give a history lesson because if you're an actor, you should probably know, just in my opinion. Um, Lee Strasberg, the Lee Strasberg, his son, rest in peace. His son teaches, one of his sons teaches a method workshop um, for like $75 for like anybody who's not already a student at the school, Strasberg Theater and Film. And he just goes over, he teaches a 4 hour class of method acting, and he does it um, every month on a Saturday, right? I've been to his works. It's free for Strasberg students. So he's not like extorting students or anything. Um, I've been to that workshop like 3, 4 times. And each time I learn something different. Each time I come out there feeling better than I did when I went in. Um, so those are cool. But I would say like workshops are kind of like the same as going to class online. You know,
Mhm.
it, it's it's a hybrid thing that puts a concise and compartmentalized idea into like a small time block and just teaches you some shit, right? But that might be cool. But in my opinion, from what I see a lot of people do, it's really just it's conflating time in place for effort, like if some of the things they're going to be doing as an actor, they're going to take time, you know. There is no, even it with the internet and um, the opportunities in the internet gives us, there is no quick way to do this. And I know that for a fact. I've been trying to do this whole journey and process quicker than people have been telling me it takes since I've been wanting to act. I've been trying to do it quicker, quicker, quicker. There's no quick way to do this. There just isn't. There's no quick way to do this. You have to rely on people more than you have to rely on yourself, you know? So there's no quick way to do this. Workshops kind of try their creation has been for that purpose, uh, to try and quicken or speed up the pace in which your journey is going to take. And the ones that are good, that's cool, but it shouldn't be. But if they're like, they don't try to do that, they just end up being like that because it's such good information that's coming to you, um, on top of what you're already doing. But if you're going to workshops or just trying to do, or you do or see a workshop that's gonna jam pack something odd years of acting into this 8 hour time block, right? And like a one break in between. Like that's not gonna you're not gonna go in there and then come out as an actor, and that's what a lot of these workshops prey on. People who don't really understand that acting takes time and they just prey on people's stupidity, right? And I say stupidity because um it might sound harsh, for like the average actor that's just starting out and don't know nothing. But, you know, if you're an athlete, right? Um, and you're the kind of athlete that wants or that is just, from that cloth of you're going to be great, you're going to go somewhere, you're going to go places. This is a longevity thing for you, not just something you can do. They know they know the things, they know the things, the histories, the things that you have to do, the workouts you got to do, like that sounds super vague and unhelpful. And I kind of probably sound like an asshole, but it's cool, I'm okay with that. There are some things that you naturally are going to know because you give a fuck about what you're doing. And some people don't always do that. Like, of course, you give a fuck about what you're doing, but not everybody. It doesn't mean the same thing that everybody else. Um. So, and on top of that, workshop has a different meaning, depending on where you're looking or what you're doing. Um. There are some like if you're in theater, like you're a theater actor, you're actually in the like the theater scene, you're doing the theater things, um, then then a workshop for you is somebody workshopping and optioning your screenplay, your play and making it and workshopping and developing creating a development package, so that you can have fun so that you can actually make the play, right? If you're just a film actor, right? Then a workshop is going to be what I was just talking about and ranting about, right? So like, and if theater and film are like two different areas for you, then you probably aren't on the right track. A lot of like you shouldn't be trying to like cut corners. You shouldn't be trying to like, you know, take any easy ways to do this. And you shouldn't be trying, oh, I only wanna do this part of acting. You have to take it all for what it is. Um, so don't get I would say workshops are helpful when they're for the right reasons and when they're the right kind of workshops. But going into a workshop thinking it's going to speed up your career or going into a workshop that promises to speed up your career, those are the ones you want to avoid. That was a tangent. I'm sorry.
No, no, that's exactly what I wanted to show, for the actors that are barely coming out, because for us, right, we didn't really have that guidance, You know, if I remember correctly, we were both in the agency at one point, and you know, that's kind of what I experienced. And being naive, right? Being young, having no car, having no transportation, you know, figuring this out, taking the buses, to auditions and things like that. It's hard, man.
Hmm.
It's hard, especially when you don't know where to start, because that's exactly it. You know, you just start. You just start and hope for the best.
Yeah.
And you know, everything that you're saying, that's exactly what I want to point out. You know, the flaws of it, uh, the mistakes that could possibly happen, the people that you could encounter, even. It all becomes a big machine of fuckery, you know? And excuse my
Yeah.
language, but that's really what it is. It's so much, and it could be so overwhelming at times, especially when you have no idea what you're doing, but you're just doing it, you know?
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
as an
man.
actor, that's definitely one of the things that we got to acknowledge. You know, how much do you know about this? How much do you know about the person running this operation? You know, things like that. You really got to do your research. And I like what you mentioned earlier. You know, as an actor, you got to know certain things already as is, especially with the internet, you know, being so accessible. You got to do your own research, do things like that. You can't expect handouts, especially. You know, I like how you said that you have to depend on people, not necessarily just using them. You actually have to depend on the stuff that they already have. You know, if they're in the industry, depend on their knowledge, depend on their wisdom, depend on their mistakes even. When they tell you something,
Hmm.
simply listen. You know,
Yeah.
you might hear something that you actually need to hear. Or you just might
Hmm.
make a friend along the way, which is also
Facts. That's what we did. We made friends along. We became friends along the way.
yeah, yeah, we did. That this is our testament, you know, known this guy for
Facts.
over 3 years. And
Going on 4.
going on 4. There you go. Going on 4. It's
It's actually
crazy,
going on
man.
5 years. It's actually been 4 years since so 2021, 22, 23, 24. It's going on 4 to 5 for real.
Man.
It's been a
It's so
while.
many stories. So many stories. I'll
Still
say.
ain't never met this man like in person a day in my life, y'all. I ain't
And we
never met
talk
this
like
man
we know
in
each other since
person,
grade school. It's crazy.
right?
Oh man, it's crazy, but I love it. I love it because what you could get out of it, you know, when you
Heck
really,
yeah.
really commit yourself to it, you know, and it's great. I love having friends in the industry to a certain extent. Sometimes I'm like, and sometimes I'm like, you know what, this is cool. I got someone I can relate to,
Hell yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And I really like the emphasis that you put, especially when it comes to different regions, which is another thing I want to bring up. Would you say that,
Mhm.
you know, for the most part, you've traveled in different states, right? From the East Coast to the West Coast?
Yeah, I've been to a lot of states. I grew up traveling to different states. Because my peoples was in my peoples had a job where they had to go to different states sometimes. So I would go and, along my journey acting, uh, the pandemic led me to travel the US just a little bit, just a little bit.
I got you.
And I didn't do all the traveling that I should have because flights were so cheap. If we could go back to the pandemic, I would do so much more traveling. Man, I would have took my ass right to Alabama. I would have took my ass right to New York. I would have went some places. I would have got my passport and met Audi.
Okay. 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 I mean, I hear you, man. I hear you. I feel like a lot of people will either get pissed off or have a mixed reaction to what you just said. But I love it. I love it because it's raw. It's honest, you know?
Yeah, that's all I know how to be.
Yeah, right. At this point. Shoot. I'll tell you what, you know, because me and myself like traveling and just like
Hmm.
how you're saying it, when there's an advantage, you just gotta take it. If you see an opportunity, that's
Hmm.
another thing. I really want to emphasize recognizing the opportunity. I feel like a lot of times people don't even recognize when there's an opportunity until it's too late, you
Well,
know?
yeah, yeah. A lot of times it's hard to step outside of yourself. We have a lot going on as people, and it's a tall task to ask the average person, actor or no actor. It's hard to ask the average person to look outside of themselves and see, the bigger, brighter picture of life as a whole, before they react, because most people live uh, in the present. Most people live, well, I won't say in the present, but I'll say most people live in a state of reaction. Most people are experiencing the world as a reaction, like because, like for example, because I woke up at 3 a.m., right? Instead of taking note of how I'm feeling or why I woke up, first thing I do is like because I'm waking up and it's 3 a.m. I just want to go back to sleep. I just want to go back to sleep, right? Uh, but taking it, but like when I just chill for a second, breathe and just like think, not even think, but just take some stock of what's going on, really just like sit there and just like sit with how I'm feeling for a little minute. That could be 5 minutes, that could be 10 minutes, 20 minutes. It really takes however long you want it to take. But when you stop for a second and just like, not really observe, but take stock and take inventory of how you're feeling, how your body's feeling, um, questioning your mind and why it's doing things, not doubting, but just questioning why you're thinking some things. You get answers that can help you find opportunity, find answers to questions that you're probably asking, so that you don't move reactionary, right? Like when I wake, and I do this all every night. I always wake up at 4 a.m., right, or 3 a.m. I always wake up during that time, so I have to pee. So I wake up, I take that. I do. I be taking that time to like, why am I awake, man? Oh, I gotta pee. Okay, all right. Boom. Go out, pee, get up, pee, flush, wash hands with soap. Uh, come back to it's crazy. You got to say that sometimes. Go back to bed, right? And I'll be like, damn, why is it so hard to go back to bed? All right, well, let me just. Why is it so hard for me? I just peed, so I obviously woke my body up a little bit. You know, next thing you know, you're asleep while you're just taking that inventory, and how that alludes to recognizing opportunity is, sometimes you'll be too engrossed in looking for the opportunity that you don't see the opportunity right there in front of you. A lot of people are actively looking for opportunity instead of letting it come to them. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but I will say that when you stop looking for your future to come to you and you just let that motherfucker come to you, you you can see a lot more things happen in real time. It's like the Quicksilver effect. You're going so fast you can't see anything, but if you just slow down and walk, things are coming faster towards you, and you're the one that's moving slow. So you see everything happening in real time. It's it's not getting there in a blur. It's everything coming at you and you just gracefully moving through it.
I like that. I like that because it's so simple. And for the most part, I feel like as peoples, not even as an actor, but now just as peoples, we have the answer in ourselves. But a lot of times we're so focused on the outside rather than the inside that we don't realize that we have the answer. We have the key to ourselves in a sense. So we look for other answers outside when there isn't, you know? And how are you going to know that if you don't even recognize what's inside of yourself, the internal, what's happening? What are you thinking about? What are you going to do next? You know?
Hmm.
Yeah, I like that. I do. That was very simplified. And for everybody that sees this, when you see this clip, especially, I want you to know this guy, hey, he's experienced. This guy has experienced a lot of shit. that everything they say up until now, it's meant for a reason, you know. It's not just saying it just to say things. I promise you it's not
Yeah,
that.
I'm not
So I
gonna
feel
do
like there's a
that.
lot of people out there, these so-called gurus and people that have the answers. They always say some shit out of their ass, and they're just like, "Yeah, well, if you do it like this and you repeat every single thing that I'm saying, it's gonna work. I guarantee it."
Oh man, let me dead that now, bro. Like, hey, if y'all watching, I don't know shit. I'm not like, don't listen to what Johnny's saying. I am not experienced. I have only been on the film set a handful of times. I don't know what the fuck I be talking about half the time, bro. I do not know shit. I'm young, I'm dumb, and I'm just fucking uh I'm learning the hard way. And sometimes I'm learning the easy way. So yes, yes, to what you're saying, I'm not a guru. Don't I'm not if you know a better way to do it, if you got money, if you got if you got opportunities, if you got people you know, fuck what I'm saying. If what I'm saying don't work for you, then it don't work for you. Everything is different for everybody. Go do whatever works for you. If you're watching this and you're like, fuck that, I'm gonna suck dick and take it anywhere and like get my way to the like do it. Do whatever works for you. Don't listen to some random person on a fucking screen who's saying some shit you might think it's Zen or anything. I'm not Zen. I'm not Zened out. I
Oh
haven't
my
mastered
God.
Nirvana. I am a fucking mess. and I'm like I'm pretty much like I'm pretty much like fucking I'm struggling, like I'm pretty much like telling the homeless guys to save me a cot. Don't listen to shit I'm saying. Whatever works for you is whatever is going to work for you. And this is not meant to be funny. I'm being dead ass. Do whatever works for you. If you gonna fuck the director to
Oh
get a
my
role,
God.
do it. If you gonna suck some dick to get that movie deal, do it. If you gotta get it, if you gonna do it, like if you're gonna buy your way there, buy your way there. If you have the money, do your thing. Swipe that Visa, baby. Do it. Do it. Don't fucking listen to some dude talking about, yeah, just take some stock of your nah, like, I've had to learn that from my best friend. Like there are people out here that far and few between, people like me, that and you, that we believe that moving in this industry, we should be moving with integrity. We should be moving, with the old rules. The rules of like your art should, be the forefront, and it should be about being authentic and being genuine and being real and having something to say. And it ain't like that no more. Like people don't really give a fuck about that shit anymore. And it makes people like us either come off as posers or like we're crazy and uninformed. There are people that will pretend to be the introspective artists and it comes off weird. And there are people who don't try to come off that way and end up being that way. So like all that to say, it doesn't fucking matter what any of us say. Do whatever works for you. However you get there is the best way to get there. When other actors try to, be like, well, if you want to get there this way, but integrity and your moral compass and this and the third, it's well meaning, but it's also just a way of saying like, oh, I look down on you for getting to where you want to go this way, right? Like you was in the room sucking dick and now look at you, you're famous. It's like, well, yeah, he is. And problem? Why you hating? Fuck you hating on. It's not my problem that you can't suck a dick. It's not my fucking problem. It's yours. That's a you problem, not me. That makes a lot of sense. A lot of us spend a lot of time telling other people how the way they achieve their goals is wrong or right based on our morals. And our morals don't fucking matter. It's not that's like they don't matter. The horror stories for the listeners, viewers, the horror stories you hear about the action industry, some of them are real, some of them are fake. Discern. Um, get it how you live, yo. Like, get it how you live. It don't matter how, just get it. And the only thing that's actually wrong is what you do with it when you get it. You know, sucking dick to get where you are in life, that's not wrong. That's not wrong. Do your thing. I'm not going to do that. That's not my character. But if you know
Uh,
you gotta bend over and open your cheeks to become the next John Boyega, by all means, fucking do it and do it well and fucking enjoy it while you're doing it. But when you get that role that you only got because you spread your cheeks open, do something good with that opportunity. That's the only thing. That's like the only real thing is when you get opportunity, when you get your blessings, do something. Do something good with it. That's the only thing I would say for anybody to take away from the shit I be saying. When you get to where you're going, do good in the world with it. Don't spread your cheeks open and fucking start gawking on dick just to be an asshole in the industry, because in that case, you didn't really need, like, we didn't need you to do that. You didn't need to be that desperate if you're just going to be an asshole about it. If you're going to have if you're going to get opportunity and you're going to take it anywhere you can get it, do something good with it. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people, they confuse doing good with being selfish and being self-serving. And I'm not saying that, you don't deserve nice things, people, but um, do for others before you do for yourself. And that doesn't just include your friends. That's it. Don't take shit I'm saying serious. Don't listen to shit I'm saying. I don't know shit. I'm not experienced. Yeah, I have been through some shit. But like I'm just trying to make it too, man. So, take what I say with a grain of salt, everybody, and get it how you get it. Doesn't matter how you get it. Just get it how you get it. But when you get it, do something good with it. Because if you don't do anything good with it, then what was really the reason? You going like what was really the reason for going to the Diddy party if you gonna be a villain? You know? Let it be redemption. Ain't shit funny. I'm being so like let it be a redemption arc. Don't let it be a fucking I did this shit to make myself a villain. That's crazy.
well, you heard it here first. It's, you know. Nah, listen. All jokes aside, I do like what you're saying. There's real truth to it because a lot of times people fall into that life or they chose it. But either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You should make it your redemption arc if you have been through that. If you've been through things
Hmm.
like that, you should
Hell
make
yeah.
it to a point where it should be a mission of your life to actually make it better for the rest of us rather than repeat the cycle of hatred, repeat the cycle of all this malicious things that happen, right?
Exactly.
So, just to filter out everything that you said and, people don't misinterpret or me misinterpreting, it's a redemption arc.
Hmm.
You really got to see it that way, especially with things that are coming up with the whole P. Diddy stuff and all that shit right now. So, yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying. Yeah, no, I agree with it. And with that being said, I mean, what we got a minute left. I wanna end this on a good note. I want to end this on a
Okay.
good note with everybody that's watching this. If you're an actor, producer, director, whatever it may be, if you have an agent, you don't have an agent, manager, whatever the hell it may be, doesn't matter.
Speaking of that,
Simply
I
just
got a
start.
manager now. I got a
Fucking
manager now.
go. Okay.
That shit, it happened like 2 days ago. I got a manager now.
Oh wow. You gotta tell me off though, because this is like,
I got you. I got you. I
yeah, yeah,
got you. I
yeah, yeah.
wanted to I wanted to surprise you with that.
Man, we gotta talk about that on the phone.
See,